Do you ever struggle with simplicity, with duplication, with maybe enrolling people that do a whole lot of nothing? And part of that could be the person just doesn't have the desire. They don't have the drive, but it could also be that you're freaking overwhelming people. And listen, even I find myself having to dumb it down because I know that a confused mind does nothing. And if someone gets started in your business and they're excited about the possibility, and then they see there's like 17 trainings and there's 1 million documents and 50 apps to download, for obvious reasons, they will be overwhelmed. Overwhelm, in many cases, is a choice because people think they need to know more than they actually need to, when in the beginning, what should they be focusing on? Probably just going out and getting a handful of customers and a handful of partners, a handful of social marketers, ambassadors, affiliates, whatever you call them inside of your company. I think it's really important to understand that the system is in place really for the leader. It's in place for me, it's in place for Bryn, so that when we onboard someone, we know what they should be focused on. So Bryn Lang, I'm excited to have you here. Let's get into this conversation because I know we have a lot of people that are wanting more duplication. They're wanting to accelerate their growth. They're wanting to help the people that they're partnering with. And quite frankly, I hear this objection, and Bryn, I bet you do too, where people say, I don't really want to build a team. I don't want to recruit because I don't know what to do with them. I can't mentor them. I'm not successful. But Bryn Lang is literally one of the best leaders, mentors. She's had a lot of success. She's also coaching a lot of top earners in other companies and has built her incredible business, mostly leveraging social media. She has a lot of fun. She's very knowledgeable, and she wants to help you, along with myself today, really get into this conversation. So it's going to be good. Bryn, what's up?
I'm really excited about this conversation personally as well, because let's just be 100, y'all. I ain't a fluffer. So you're not going to get fluff from me. I'm going to tell you the real deal. When I got started in network marketing in 2014, it took me 6 months to sign on my first business partner, you guys. I was so scared to talk to people about my business. And I'm really excited about this conversation because I'll be honest, one of the reasons that I was so scared to talk to people about my business is what was like literally presented to me when I got started. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't know if I can do that, right? Like I was taught to like my sponsors brought me in and they wanted to like get on the phone for hours and there was no like clear system. And they're like telling you all these different things to do. And my head was in like 10 million different places. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and I was that person who was like, I don't know if I want to recruit, man. I think I just might want to sell some products because I don't even know what the hell to do with these people. I'm excited about the conversation because I think a lot of us can really relate. And even, at this point, as a leader with a really large team, and I know John can probably attest to this as well, like I'm always analyzing backwards. I'm always asking myself, okay, what worked with this? What didn't? How can I improve it? How can I tweak? And one of the things as a leader that I like to focus on is, and you guys have probably heard this a million times, is KISS. Keep it stupid simple. I'm constantly asking myself, right? Like if I put a 10-year-old in front of this, could they go out and take this and run with it? And so if I'm constantly asking myself that, I can tweak little things that might make it a little bit more simple for that brand new person getting started. Because once again, most people who come into this industry, they've never done it before. They have no sales experience. They've never been put in any sort of a leadership position. They've never had to hear like the word no from people. Like when it comes to like asking them about buying something from them or joining them. And it can be really scary and it can be really hard as that person. So I just want to say, as we get started, if you're on here and you're that new person, or you're that person who's maybe been around the block for a little while and you're scared to recruit, it's okay. Most of us start there. We all start at suck. You're going to suck until you suck less. It's how you get better. But hopefully with what we bring to you guys today, we can really help you move that along a little bit faster.
If you're like, hey, I've got people joining my team, but they're not doing a whole lot. Yeah, most people are not going to be as committed and as disciplined as you are. They're not going to be a Bryn Lang. They're not going to be a Nadya Melton. They're not going to be like me. In fact, I wasn't like me 21 years ago when I got started, right? We all start just hoping that this is legit, just hoping we can make some money, right? I think, Bryn, you got started because you wanted to pay for socks without having to think about it, right? I wanted to get started because I wanted to not wait tables, but it wasn't until years and years and years later that we really figured out how to use social media to create results and help people earn profits and build a following and generate leads and sales and do it in a way that didn't feel sleazy. It didn't feel like a Spamela Anderson. How many of us know what I'm talking about? But on the flip side, you also can't sit back twiddling your thumbs waiting for people to ask you what you do. So you have to teach people how to launch their business, what to do every day, how to get started, just helping them create small wins. And what would you say those small steps would be? What would be some of your advice, Bren, for people that are either building teams and they're wanting to simplify, or people that are just getting started and they need the simplicity? What would be some of those steps that you would recommend?
One of the biggest things and one of the biggest issues that I see a lot of people have when it comes to, bringing people into their business and what to do with them. The first thing I would say is you cannot have expectations of other people, right? Like, the expectations will literally kill you every time. You'll always be like frustrated and upset when you have expectations of people. You may bring somebody in that has this wide area of influence. Maybe they're a doctor in your town, or maybe, they're crushing it on social media or whatever. And you're like, hell yeah, man, it's gonna work. They're gonna crush it. And I'm so excited. And they do nothing. And then you might bring somebody in who's never been in the industry before. The last 1,700 things they posted on social media were cat videos. I don't know, but they might end up like really needing it in their life and lighting that fire under their butt and going, you know what? I don't know how to do it now, but I'm going to follow whatever you put out there for me. And they're super coachable. So the number one thing I would say is you cannot have expectations of other people. The number two thing that I see is a big, big mistake is not having the right conversations with people up front when you're bringing them into your business. In fact, I like to have these conversations even before they get started, because I want to know this person and what makes them tick. Okay. Yeah. There are going to be some people that you bring in that are people more so like me or more so like John. We're like, we want it, man. We're ready to go. Like, all you got to tell us is what to do. And we're going to fly by the seat. We're just going to go, right? We're going to do the things. A lot less people are going to be like us. The majority of people that you bring in are probably going to have no sort of experience. They're going to be, maybe they don't know how to think bigger yet, right? Like, helping people understand what it is that they might want to create out of this is really important. And it's also important for you as their leader to understand, okay, so I bring John and John tells me, I say, John, I'm really curious now that we got you in, I'm really excited. What is it that you'd like to do with your business? And John's like, man, I just really need to make 50 extra bucks a month. I'm probably not going to take John through this really long launch process where he has to learn how to reach out to people and talk to them about their business and all these things. I'm like, all right, John, I'm gonna help you make 50 bucks, right? Let's get you a curiosity post up and let's see what happens. And I'll show you exactly what to do with those people once they ask for information. And then if John makes that 50 bucks, I'm like, John, hell yeah, man, you just made 50 bucks. Are you happy with that? Or do you want to learn how to make 100? And you know what? John might go, 50 bucks is awesome. I like it. I'm like, John, keep doing what you just did. That's all you got to do to keep making 50 bucks a month, right? I'm not going to try to teach him all these different skills. And what happens is somebody like that, you might push them right out of your business. They might, like, if you push them to want more than what they want, they might go, well, man, I was just happy with 50 bucks. Like, I'll go make it somewhere else, right? Whereas if I'm just let John be happy with that 50 bucks and I just check in on him, once a month or a couple times a month, see if there's anything I can help him with, that spark might like ignite for him, because I kept him around the campfire. And at some point he may want to make that 100 bucks, or maybe John makes that 50 bucks and now he wants to make 100. He's like, hell yeah, show me how to double it. I'm like, okay, let's go to the next step in the launch process and let me teach you the next skill that's going to help you get there. So I think a lot of times we don't have those proper conversations. And then also, if somebody tells me they want to make 50 bucks or they want to make 100 bucks, I don't stop there in that conversation. I usually say something like, okay, so if you want to make 100 extra bucks per month, what does that $100 mean to you? Like, what would that do for you and for your family? I like to help them emotionally connect to that $100 because anybody can say, I would really like 100 extra bucks. And then they might hear no a couple times, 5 times, and they're out the door and they quit, right? Because they've never done anything like this before. They don't know how to hear no from somebody without getting their feelings hurt, which is a totally natural thing for all of us to feel when we first get started, right? But if I help John connect to that $100 and that $100 is the difference between them keeping the lights on in their house or not, now John might hear no a few times. He might go, you know what? That's okay. I can learn to be resilient. I need to pay my light bill. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's such a big deal too. And you recognize what you want repeated, write that down. Because like Bryn said, when someone gets their first sale or they hit that first rank, we make it a big deal. And I know sometimes, you forget what it's like to be new. Remember what it was like to be new. You were like, yeah, sure, I want to get rich. But really, you're like, how do I make my money back? Like, I need that. Man, like, I need that money. Like, you're not thinking about like your purpose and impact and helping other people. That's stuff that comes later. In the beginning, you're like, I'm selfish. Like, I need to make some money. Like, you want to buy my stuff? You want to buy my stuff? Who wants to buy my stuff? John, I need some people to buy my stuff. It's very self-serving, but that's called normal. That's most people getting started. And you test them, right? Hey, let's put up your first post. Let's reach out to some people, some key people that you think these products would be, a good fit. Did you go through guide 1? Did you print off the script or the 24-hour game plan? Did you download the boards app? You can give them some tasks. You can give them some steps. And it's so much easier to work with those people, right? It's so much easier to work with the people that are getting on the Saturday team calls or the team Zoom trainings or whatever that looks like, or they're coming to the events. Like, they want it. They're showing up. And if they show up, you better show up for them. As a leader, as a mentor, it's so interesting, right? Like, what's the point of putting all this time and effort into your social media, your following, nurturing relationships, follow up, ATM in your face off, the group chats, all the things. And then you get someone in, you're like, next. And it's like, well, what about the 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 people you enrolled in the last, 3 months, the last 4 months? Like, those people joined the team. They partnered with you. And you might say, well, John, actually, that person's like 5 levels removed from me. But again, look, I want you to have this image in your mind. That person that's 5 levels removed from you. Are there any fishermen between you and that person? Any leaders? Anyone that's like super plugged in, super serious, super committed? Maybe they have a full-time income? No? Then that person is as much your person as it is this person. Does that make sense? Because first of all, every dud knows a stud. I did not enroll Bryn. Now, Bryn was enrolled by a rock star. That was enrolled by a rock star. That was enrolled by a rock star. But with that being said, Bryn and I worked together more than the person that enrolled her. And guess what? That's totally cool with them. That's totally cool with everybody that's involved in that scenario. Trust me. So the point is, sometimes studs bring in bigger studs. Sometimes duds become studs. Sometimes a stud does nothing. Like, they have all the potential in the world. They have all the abilities, but they're not hungry for, like I always say, you really want someone that's hungry and capable, right? They kind of have a little bit of both, right? I look for people with WHIP. Write this down: work ethic, hunger, integrity, and personal power. Now, I did not have a whole lot of personal power or influence when I got started 21 years ago, but I developed that over time. Now, of course, look, we're still looking for lots of customers. We're still looking for people that are just going to support us. We're looking for people that are wanting to earn extra income. But you know what you're really looking for? A players, people with influence, people that are hungry, that have the whip. And you're an implementer. You're taking action. You don't want to just always be in learn mode. At some point, you want to remove the L and get into earn mode, get into beast mode, go from average to savage. Yes? That's the key to success, is to start recruiting up and start looking and identifying people that you can pour into. Whether they're on your first level, your 5th level, there are people out there that are like Bryn, that are hungry, they're not that person now, but they could be. The potential is there. The hunger is there.
Probably the biggest pivot for me that I went through in my business was understanding that for the first 4 years that I built network marketing, I was talking to everybody. I was hungry, man. I wanted it. Like John said, I'm like, who wants to buy my stuff? Who wants to join my team? I don't care if you like live next door to me. I don't care if I got to chase you down to the grocery store. I don't care if I got to invite you to my house and pretend we're going to have a dinner party and like, here's your wine, but let me just show you how to put this stuff on your face, right? Like, I don't care. Like, I would recruit anybody. And you guys, let me just tell you, there's nothing wrong with it. I do not judge people. I will take anybody who's hungry and I will help them create a bigger life if they have the desire. But what I realized was I wanted to be more efficient. We find ourselves in a place where all we do is work and we're on our phone 24/7. We find ourselves in a place where everything else is sacrificed. And so I had a big moment in my life where I literally almost quit the industry. I almost lost my family. My kid told me he didn't think that I loved him anymore because I never paid attention to him. I was always on my phone. And leaders who are watching this right now, I guarantee you've probably felt that feeling before. I realized I had to become really efficient. So I started looking at all the areas of my business and all the different things that I was doing every day and asking myself, right? Like, how can I ROIT? Return on investment of time, ROIE, return on investment of energy. How can I get more efficient? And one of the biggest things I saw is I was talking to everybody. I was spending all of my time talking to everybody. I was begging people to join my business that honestly had no business being in business. How many of you tried to convince your mom or your aunt or your next door neighbor that has like no desire? They've told you no a million times, but you keep going back instead of going out and trying to find people that think bigger, that want bigger, that might be business minded. And so when I made that switch, and I like literally, I want you guys to understand this. You can spend the same amount of time every single day creating conversations and prospecting people who only share cat videos on social media or aren't even on social media or have no influence in their life whatsoever. Or you can be more efficient and you can take that same amount of time and go, I want to find people with wit. I want to find people who have a wide area of influence. I want to find people who are already showing up consistently on social media. They're already doing reels. They're already doing TikToks. They're already posting in their stories. Hello, ding, 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 ding. I ain't got to teach those people that crap anymore.
But you know what's funny? You know what's funny, Bryn, is so often we assume that person already has it all figured out. They already have lots of income streams, that they're on our chicken list. We're too chicken to ask them because we're like, oh, you know what it is? Because we look at them and respect them and we look at them as successful or influential, and we don't want to be rejected by those people. It's actually easier to be rejected by your broke uncle that like doesn't need an opportunity. He needs a job. Anyway, I agree 100%. When you start going, and that's your business. When I look at your team today, like you have done such a great job of everyone can contribute. Your culture, your team, like everybody loves on everybody. Nobody even cares what rank you are. Nobody cares what line you're on, what team. You got to be level blind. You want to support everyone, but like you said, you only have so much time in a day. You only have so much energy, and the priority has to be your family. The priority has to be your health. Right? This business is amazing. I love what we get to do, but it can't be all you do. Like when I first got started 21 years ago, it was this mentality of ate to faint. So like you said, if you're going to put time and effort into something, building the relationships, building a business, you'd rather work with the best possible people. And that's why we have this.
We just want you guys to understand, like, it can be scary, but this is a skill that you're going to want to learn ASAP, right? I know that I don't believe at all that there's a magic pill to success. I hate when people preach fast and easy, but there are skills that you can learn that can turn the dial on the fast meter, okay? And this is one of the best ways to do that. The more quality people you can bring into your business, the faster your business is going to grow. And then if you can learn how to duplicate that and teach your people.
I mean, it's literally everything. It is everything. Because for the first 7 years in my network marketing career, like you said, I would recruit anybody. I would talk to anybody. And listen, I did bring in some good people, but then it was like, it wasn't systematic. It wasn't like, hey, now you should recruit up. You should talk to business-minded people, entrepreneurial-minded people. And back then, again, this is prior to social media being a big thing. But once I started targeting, like I would literally, my ears would perk up if someone's like, I own a restaurant or I do this entrepreneurial thing, whatever it is. my ears would perk up and be like, that's someone I want to build a relationship with. That's someone I want to have a conversation with. Because here's the thing, if you put 100 A players, business-minded people on this side of the room, and you put 100 like employee-minded people on this side of the room, I'm not saying you won't sign up some of the employee-minded people. You absolutely will, but you'll sign up more of the A players. And guess what? Business owners know business owners. People with influence know other people with influence, right? Pastors know other pastors. Social influencers know other social influencers. Does that make some sense to you? So when you start recruiting up and you have confidence and posture on what to say to them and how to get yourself out of the way and use tools and use, systems and strategies that can help you really attract those types of people where they're not partnering with other companies, they're partnering with you. They're not partnering with other leaders, other teams, they're partnering with you. And here's the thing, we have an abundant mentality. We believe there's enough people out there for all of us. And I truly believe that if we just get a little more perspective and we start to like really appreciate what's going on in the world, like there's a lot of people out there that are scared. I mean, a year ago, a lot of these A player types are probably making money. Their portfolio looks good. Their real estate's crushing. I mean, everything was crushing a year ago. Think about how high crypto was a year ago. Think about how low the rates were a year ago. Inflation was good. Like right now, people are scared. Like when you see Amazon and Facebook down as much as they are, and they're laying off thousands and thousands of people, like that is a clear sign that things ain't so good right now. And there's gonna be a lot of very sharp people looking for something. And guess what? The first year I made 6 figures in network marketing was 2008. The last time we had a bad economy. The last time the economy crashed was 14 years ago. That was the first year I made full-time income in network marketing. And 2009 was my biggest year ever. And it was because of the timing, because there was a lot of really good people that all of a sudden became very open-minded, but it was because I knew how to have a conversation with them. I knew the approach. I had a system to plug them into, because the one thing a busy person, a successful person doesn't want is some other super high maintenance, time-consuming job or business, something that they already don't have a lot of time. So how can you help them become, like Bryn said, more efficient and more effective with the systems and the processes that are in place? It's time to start recruiting up like never before and hitting up that chicken list, hitting up the people that you think are doing well. You think, oh, well, they got a big social following. They get a lot of views on their videos. Let me tell you something. There's a whole lot of influencers, especially that like micro influencer. They're not monetizing. They have no idea how to monetize, or they've been approached by other, MLMs and those types of businesses. And it just, the way they were approached, the way the person came on too strong, or the way they explained it sounded scammy. It sounded sketchy. There's a saying, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Not true.
Yeah, I think that's totally.
I mean, it sounds really good to say you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, because it kind of gives people that perception that I can just like say whatever I want. And like, if I completely butcher the conversation, it doesn't matter. If they were open, they would have joined no matter what I said. Just not true. Simply not true.